Me llamo Adriana Burgos Ojeda y soy puertorriqueña.
Me llamo Brenda Barrera y soy salvadoreña.
Me llamo Carlos Ariel Landau y soy argentino.
Hola, me llamo Douglas Andrés Jiménez y yo soy salvadoreño.
Hola, mi nombre es Glenda López y nací en Guatemala.
Hola, soy la señora Hernández Catá. Nací en Washington, D.C., and I'm representing Cuba on my father's side and Bolivia on my mother's side.
Hola, soy Miss Estrada. Mi familia es de Perú y de Guatemala.
Me llamo Lavina Carrillo y soy panameña.
Mi nombre es Lía Contreras y soy la consejera de ISO de Montgomery Blair High School. Y como se pueden dar cuenta, también soy hondureña. Así que feliz mes de la herencia hispana. Adiós.
Hola, mi nombre es Nancy Valenzuela y soy de Perú.
Soy Pilar Romero y soy de Perú.
Buenos días. Mi nombre es Maylin Castro y soy de Nicaragua.
Mi nombre es Roselicena Ponce y soy de Nicaragua.
Orgullosamente nicaragüenses.
Hola, me llamo Sabrina Kalim Martínez y soy española.
Me llamo Samantha Cruz y soy nicaragüense y puertorriqueña.
Hola, muy buenas. Soy Sabrina Kalim Martínez. Soy profesora de español para hispanohablantes y profesora de francés como lengua extranjera. Y también tengo el gran honor de ser la directora de Voces Unidas. Voces Unidas es una serie de actuaciones para celebrar el mes de la hispanidad. Y cada año intentamos escoger piezas representativas de la cultura hispana, tanto en las Américas como en España. Este año estamos viviendo unas circunstancias asombrosas y aunque estamos apartados, queríamos que Voces Unidas nos hiciera sentir unidos celebrando los rasgos distintos de nuestras culturas. Esta programación no hubiera sido posible sin la ayuda de varias personas y si me permitís unos minutos más me gustaría reconocerles. En primer lugar, tengo que agradecer a todos los estudiantes que han sido sumamente valientes y compartieron su talento con nosotros. Gracias a ellos por haber realizado todas estas actuaciones que hemos disfrutado. Thank you to all the students who made Voces Unidas happen. You were amazing. Segundo, tengo que agradecer al señor Mayo y su equipo de BNC. Thank you for your support and your advice, Mr. Mayo and the BNC staff. Ellos ahí constantemente tras el telón. Gracias a ellos hemos podido difundir nuestro programa en las redes sociales. A continuación, las subdirectoras, señora Burgos Ojeda y señora Carrillo, con su apoyo incondicional, y la señora Johnson, our amazing principal. Their unwavering support and their everlasting encouragement made Voces Unidas the success that it is. Finalmente, me quedan 4 personas encantadoras: Liza, Che, Alicia y Gio. Espero que sepáis lo agradecida que estoy. Ha sido un honor trabajar con vosotros. I'm in complete awe of their artistic vision and how talented they all are in their own way. They make magic happen. I hope you all have enjoyed Voces Unidas these past 5 weeks. Nosotros hemos disfrutado en cantidad y esperamos que vosotros también. Gracias a todos por vuestro apoyo y vuestro amor por la cultura hispana.
Hi, my name is Alicia Coleman, and I am a Student Assistant Director for Voces Unidas.
Hi, my name is Giovanni Rivera, and I'm a Student Assistant Director for Voces Unidas.
Hi, my name is Shay Moorhead, and I'm the musical director of Voces Unidas.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Lika, and I am the student editor of Voces Unidas. So, Alicia, how about you start us off by talking about the planning process, when this all started, and kind of what you were looking for in the culture you were representing and the students you were representing it. Yeah, sure. So we started planning for this version of Voces Unidas in like early summer 2020, when we kind of realized that we probably weren't going to be back in time for this to be a regular show. So when we realized that, we kind of had to kick a new plan into gear, because we kind of had a setup and an idea for an in-person show this this fall. So once we realized that wouldn't be happening, we kind of had to really quickly find another plan and get it approved and just get it done. So early this summer, we kind of all hopped on a FaceTime and tried to figure out what exactly we'd be doing instead of an in-person show, because we were really passionate about keeping this going, since it's such a young show, and we've only been doing this for so long, and we found it really important to keep the momentum going from last year. So when we started planning, we had to like get on a bunch of calls. It was several hours each, and we ended up coming up with an idea for a virtual show where we would have stuff posted on YouTube every day of Hispanic Heritage Month. And we talked to BNC and Mr. Mayo, shout out, thank you guys so much. They kindly agreed to let us use their YouTube channel to host this awesome show. So in terms of representation, we kind of wanted to get a rep from like everything we could, every culture, every country, every type of art. So we tried to focus on poems, songs, dances, and speeches, and we wanted to get a few from everywhere we could think of, every type of person we could think of. And also in terms of finding students to perform, we also wanted to showcase the diversity of the Latino community. So when we were trying to find people to do these awesome pieces, we were doing our best to make it as diverse and as properly showcasing of Hispanic and Latino students as we could, especially at Blair, when we've got such a big variety of people. So when we picked the pieces and the students, we were trying to find pieces by artists that were more mainstream recognizable, like say we have like some Shakira songs and stuff like that, and also stuff that's more niche and recognizable to the Latino community, because we found it really important to make this a show for them and not just for like everyone at Blair, because this is a really special thing for a lot of Latino students at Blair. Yeah. So Gio, how about you talk about the process of bringing the students in and auditioning everybody?
So our audition process was really unique, and it was different than we've done in past years. Back in August, I think it was the last week, we asked students to submit first recordings of either the songs, dances, monologues, and speeches. And from there, we just got on a Zoom and we all just looked through everything for like 2 hours, and we helped people decide on their final pieces, and we assigned songs. Like Alicia said, it was basically about representing every country in our diaspora and making sure that we covered everybody and that we weren't leaving any community out, because though we're all put under one umbrella, we all represent different things, from all the Celias in the world to all the Shakiras in the world. Our selections were all just based on that, like Alicia said, mainstream and niche. It was a show that is supposed to be educational for outside communities and be celebratory for our communities. And we're all joining our voices.
Yeah, that's awesome. So Che, you're the audio editor, audio engineer. And so why don't you talk about how you took the students' audios and made it all work?
So naturally, not having a show in person without stage crew doing the wonderful job of the sound team and having people to constantly be able to check on things like, okay, this microphone is too low, the instrumental is too loud, the band needs to play quieter. My job was to basically be all that and take the recordings that I got from individual vocal performers from sounding like an iPhone recording or the other end of a phone call to something that you might hear, say like on the radio, or the highest quality version of those audio bites that you can get. And a lot of what my job has been is kind of hard to explain to people who don't necessarily do music stuff, but essentially what I did was I boosted the frequencies or the parts of the voices which sounded the most natural and tried to suppress the ones that came and really revealed the fact that it was coming out of an iPhone and stuff like that. And also just making sure that the audio tracks themselves, because there were some of them that I had a little bit of a hand in producing, but most of them were instrumentals that I'd gotten. I was just making sure that they were adequately mixed, wide enough, which is super important, and took up enough like space in the recording, if that makes sense, and that they adequately fit to the performer's voice and individual styles, as well as making sure that no performer, if there was any particular sound bites or harsh notes, that we corrected those a little bit or took them out.
Awesome. So I am the editor, and my job is basically to take all the pieces, the video, the audio, and put them together so they're ready to be uploaded to the YouTube channel, as well as to the Voces Unidas Instagram and Twitter. So my job is basically to take the raw pieces, and so like the video of, say, somebody dancing, and then take the audio I get from Che of whatever they're dancing to, the music or the singing, and I go into Adobe Premiere Pro, which is an editing software, and I also take the intro and outro that was animated by Carlos Rivera. I cannot take credit for it. It's really good. I can't animate. And so I put the pieces together, make sure the audios are leveled. So I do a little bit of the audio stuff. And then I export it out and upload it to Drive so it can be sent off to people who know how to do the online facing of things.
I'd say probably my favorite part of my job is having the kind of like the unique experience to actually unite the voices with the tracks and even bring two people on different sides of the county or just in different parts of the area where Montgomery Blair covers together on one track, because music has definitely been one of the things that's held me together throughout this experience, and to give people the opportunity to share in that, given all that's going on with COVID and all that's going on in the political situation, has just been beautiful and something I'm glad and happy to have been able to be a part of.
My favorite part had to have been going to different communities at Blair, from ESOL communities to magnet communities to CAP communities, and just the regular student body, and getting people who you walk down the hallway with, the least expected person to sing or dance or recite a speech. And it's just like every day is shocking and exciting. So just seeing everyone be involved, that was my favorite part.
My favorite thing about this process has been creating a space in which people are allowed to be wholly themselves. I think a lot about this in terms of being like a Sankofa person myself, but helping to create a space in which Latino students can be unapologetically themselves and really show off their culture and their identity is incredibly important to me as someone who hasn't always felt at home in art spaces. The exclusion in a lot of regular art spaces tends to turn a lot of people off from doing things like plays or being in like band or something like that. And I just find it really powerful to help make a place where people feel safe doing something that they love doing.
Yeah, I'd have to say my favorite part is kind of being surprised by what I'm editing. I was not involved in the planning process, so I never really knew quite what to expect. So getting to hear music I haven't heard, music I have enjoyed in the past, has been really nice, and getting to like listen to it over and over again and becoming familiar with it has been really fun.
Thank you so much for joining us on this process. As you can tell, it's been a lengthy but an exciting process. All the videos, you can check them out on the BNC YouTube channel and on our Instagram and Twitter. Catch up on the last 20-something days of Hispanic and Latinx culture. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.